So, good evening, everyone. I'm joined here with Team Deflytics. I'm with Aryak, who heads the practice lead for Deflytics, and with Sumesh, who heads the sales for Deflytics. So, on the overall, how was the summit? I mean, how was the feedback of the summit on the whole, and what was your take on the whole? Sumesh, I'll start.
Yeah, thank you. On the whole, I would say it was a really good event, and we had some very really interesting conversations with some of the delegates, and quite an eye opener in terms of the opportunities that is available in the insurance market. So, in that sense, we are taking away a lot of information from these 2 day event. So, I guess, yeah, that was a good exposure for us as well.
So, Arak, you would have been networking with a lot of guys from the insurance forefront and having a lot of conversations on a realistic level from, if you see, the technology guys that were here. So, when you networked with most of them, I mean, what was your takeaway on the insurance forefront and also the challenges that majority of these organizations face? So, if you could just share some light and insights on how Deflytics helps solve those problems.
Perfect, thank you. We have been engaging with insurance firms for almost over 5 years that we've been around for. And that's a sector that we have quite a few clients now. We participated with the summit to bring to the insurance sector some bleeding edge cloud-based platforms on which you could actually build forecasts around to run your business in a more efficient manner, to be able to make predictions which are far more accurate based on historical data, manage expenses and costs better. So you're talking about a collaborative plan built with the operational team on the ground, which looks at anything from as complex as territory quota management to incentive compensation management to driving the P&L. Now, these points, so to speak, find resonance across all verticals. But for a very nuanced industry like the insurance vertical, it finds its mark far more often than other BFSI silos or verticals or companies that you'd bump into. So some of the conversations we have had over the last couple of days, today and yesterday, has been interesting from this perspective. And an interesting outcome of that was we had the same conversations with the other partners in the summit. So it has been very, very interesting.
So, a very quick question to you. So, how ready is the insurance companies, so when you had these conversations, to take up technology? Because I believe you guys have a good solution, but it has to be from the technology perspective. So, how ready are the insurance companies, when you approach them, and what's the take on the whole?
So one of our earliest clients 5 years ago is one of the largest general insurers in the country, and it's a public sector unit. And they moved with mobile-based dashboarding, business analytics as a solution, that too on the cloud, far before the general market in India wanted to work with technology of that sort. That, I think, answers your question. So even the perceived conservative units in the market go all out when it comes to adoption of technology, because at their scale of operations, technology actually does bring cost savings, efficiencies, which a larger manufacturing organization, as an example, might not be able to manage. So as far as technology is concerned, you'll find clients for platforms such as AXA as an example, or Legal and General as an example. RSA is a good example. We've adopted the solution that we're showcasing today, which is Anaplan, and have done wonders with it. They've found applications across countries, across operations, business functions, and we have seen that most insurance organizations do stay at the forefront of tech. Whether to drive sales or to run the actuarial department using statistics, it's a different matter. But they're very, very, very heavily invested in that.
So, Sumesh, so now a very quick question to you as well. So, you handle the entire sales for Deflytics for the India region, of what I believe. So, I just want to understand from you, from a sales perspective and from the product perspective, what does Deflytics bring to the table that makes your company really stand out? I mean, if
See, when we talk about enterprise performance management or corporate performance management, that space is something that organizations or industries, companies altogether, have not yet really exploited in, say, understanding that space and using the solutions and tools that are available in that particular space to exploit them to increase their efficiency or increase their overall operational efficiency as such. So in that space, in that context, Deflytics is one of the leading solution partners in India. And we are, as you can see, we have 25 plus EPM implementations all across industries, and most of them most of our customers are in the bracket of 1,000 crore plus revenue. So that should tell you about how good we are and where we stand in terms of our services and solutions.
So is there any particular panel discussion that if you guys were part of that, you all felt like, it's something that's really good and something from the innovative perspective, if you were part of the panel discussions is what I just want to know if you were there.
Personally, for me, the most interesting was the application of IoT to insurance as an industry. And we had the good fortune of having a chat with the CEO for Unlimited. And it was a fairly insightful discussion. And I think when you bring in IoT, which generally is associated to white goods and FMCG rather than insurance, you're talking about technology driving in its very actual, tangible sense, bringing about a sea change in how insurance works. Concepts in India around monitoring driving behavior and then tweaking how you want to drive insurance policy sales to such a demographic. You never heard of it 4 years ago. But that also opens up a whole lot of possibilities for firms like us, which help businesses make better sense from the data, to take better, more relevant decisions about how to grow the company, better manage costs, and at the end of the day become more profitable. And from that perspective, I think the IoT panel was extremely interesting for me.
Great. So on the whole, on behalf of Synex, I would like to thank you guys for being a corporate partners and being part of this particular summit as well. And we're looking forward to having you on board next year as well.
It was
Great. Pleasure having the talk.
Thank you
so
Thanks.
much.